Hey, everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Oh my God, what a week we've had. I'm so excited to be here. It's Tuesday, May 27th. This is our 400th episode. Can you believe that? I'm so happy and I'm so proud of us. And Leo, we have two special guests tonight. My friend and he was my neighbor many years ago. Um, Jonathan Liebson. He's an amazing person. Happens to be a great writer, and he has a book coming out. And Cathy Roy-Spies, who is my the director of education at the Male Performing Arts Center and my boss for many years. So we have a wonderful show. Please stick around. We're going to have so much fun. Hit that promo, Leo.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am.
We're so happy you're here. I'm so happy. I'm in the best mood. It's been a wonderful weekend. It's been a wonderful week. And I have my friends to thank for that. And all these wonderful listeners and people that support what we do and supported me this weekend. I did a show at Green Room 42. It was a bucket list. I love that room so much. I can't say enough about Green Room 42 and everyone that runs it, everyone that works there. Shout out to Griffin. Shout out to Ben Remelauer, who does the booking there, and Sheridan Glover, who did the lights and sound. Exquisite work. Shout out to my band, my musical director, Lynn Portish, genius. Greg Schlothauer on piano, who's so amazing, and he's done a lot of the arrangements for my recorded songs. And Christopher Hines, incredible drummer, just just detailed and amazing. So we had a wonderful time. I want to thank everybody that came out to the show. So many of you did, and I just felt so loved. So I want to thank you. I'll never forget it as long as I live. John and Lori. Well, first off, as usual, Danielle Alexandria Alchemy, our friend. Happy Tuesday, Maria. Leo, What's the Story with Maria Crew? The show this weekend was incredible. It was so great to see all of you. Maria, Lynn, and Judy were on fire. Well, Danielle, it was so nice to see you in person again. You are lovelier in person than you are on Zoom. And why do we see Danielle on Zoom? Because she is a psychic. She's a medium, a spiritual teacher. She does past life regressions. She does spirit animal readings, and she's amazing. She has many things on her website, which is Danielle Alexandria Alchemy. And so I've been on Zoom with Danielle a few times for different reasons, and she's great. And I've also bought many sessions for my friends and relatives. So if you're looking for something really special to buy someone, I know Father's Day is coming up, a lot of birthdays coming. It's a beautiful gift to give people. So you think about that when you're thinking about a very unique gift. And our friend Danielle is a beautiful person, sweet as pie, grounded, and just lovely. So thank you, Danielle. Speaking of lovely, Lori Towers and John Pietero, our friends, were there also at the show and always there to support us. They come on every week and watch us. John and Lori are they're DJs, they're music historians, they're writers, they are reviewers, they are amazing people on all levels. Lori now is making jewelry. It's great jewelry. So if you want to find Lori and John, oh, there you are. Here's my beautiful piece.
Did you say model? Did you
Yes,
call for models?
I did. Are you getting sleepy, Leo? You're getting sleepy. Whoa.
I
Leo,
need meatballs.
listen, I'm making meatballs tonight after the show because I got a bunch of orders this week. I didn't make any last week. Can you talk about Lori and John's WFMU Wednesday nights, please?
You mean the happening place to be on Wednesday nights?
Yes.
I mean, besides, where you're working.
Oh, but
But
that's all right.
I'm not in New York, so I get the pleasure of being able to listen to John and Lori at my time, 7 p.m. During Sheena's Jungle Room, Beneath the Underground. And it's the end of the month.
What does
It's
that mean?
ladies' night.
Oh,
It
that's
is
right.
eccentric behavior to axe the oligarchy and listen to some rockin' women.
I love
Oh,
it. Yep, the last Wednesday of the month, Lori features all these. They both feature all these amazing women
mm-hmm.
songwriters and artists. It's really cool. I love all of the shows, but that one is always special. I think.
Lori
So
takes charge.
yeah, well, sometimes you have to. I don't think John minds. So WFMU Wednesday nights. If and
Mm-hmm.
how do they get to it? How do they find it, Leo?
WFMU.org, O-R-G. Click
Beautiful.
Sheena's Jungle Room.
Yep.
Click Beneath the Underground and go to the chat room, chat with
Yeah.
us, and
That's if
listen
it
to
and
the
if it's
music.
live. If you can't make it live, like I do many times, I listen to it the next day because I'm working that night. So it's just a great, great, great show, and I learn so much every time I listen.
Oh, we
Bill
have so many
Goffey
comments.
has joined us. Happy 400th episode. Can you believe that? How did that happen?
That's
I'll tell you how it happened. One
wow.
week at a time. One week at a
Mm-hmm.
time. That's how everything happens. Okay, so we have our so I do just want to say thank you to everybody that came out. It was just a dream come true. It was like a big party. It was a lovely time. My little sister was in town. She is a Spitfire. Many people met her, so they know now. She literally was heckling me from the audience.
Well,
Can
I
you
saw the
She was
the date.
heckling me the day, but she was wrong. And the funny thing is she's usually always right, and I'm wrong. But this time she was wrong. That's why I said to people, take
Oh,
a picture of the. But I love her. Oh my god! The next day we hung out, and then I went to the train with her so she could get on the train and go back to Boston. But my sister's the best.
I virtually had a dance with Rena and with Diana
You
during one of your
did?
songs. Oh yeah, we were.
No.
Oh yeah, I think it during summer breeze. No, it was after. But you were and there was just dance movement. So I was texting with Rena and we danced and I spun her
Oh my.
imagining, and then I
Oh my.
danced with Diana
Oh my god. Well,
in my
Tiana's
head.
very popular. I
Yes,
mean,
she
as is
is.
Rena, but so yeah, people were watching virtually. That's one of the things I love about Green Room. They have this really high quality live stream. And people were watching from all over the country and also Canada. We had people watching in Canada, England,
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful!
and Rome.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Roma.
Catherine Salvio was in Rome. She was watching.
She was. Oh wow. Well, I would love to
What?
share a little piece of the video if we can.
I haven't
Uh,
even watched the video yet. Can you
I
imagine?
well, I won't show
I've been
any of
too
the songs,
busy. But you
so we
can
won't
do
get.
whatever you like. You're
But
the
you were just talking about with Jonathan about family and stuff like that, and this story reminded me of how bad my grandma used to be when she would babysat me, and we'd go take the bus to TG&Y or Woolworths is what it was
oh
back then.
yeah.
Get
Oh
a
yeah.
grilled cheese, but I wasn't allowed to tell.
Oh yeah, you see, grandmas always swear us to secrecy.
Hmm. And
Okay.
this was the story about your grandma.
Was an angel. They were just great people. And my grandmother was bad. She was like a practical joker. And she was 4'11, but I don't know why I thought she was so tall. Like she really scared everybody, and you didn't want to make her mad. So I was in Catholic school, also, I'm sure, surprised. But so I was in Catholic school, and I remember I was in first grade, I heard over the intercom, Maria Gentili. I'm sorry, it was Maria Pia. That's my real name. Maria Pia Gentili, please come to the office. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I was like an honor roll student. I didn't know what I did. I got bad later, but back then I was still good. Oh my God, what did I do? So I go down to the office in my little uniform. I'm shaking, I'm sweating. I'm going to get in big trouble. That was a mother superior. So I get into the office, and the mother superior is standing there, and she says, Maria Pia, your grandmother needs you to go with her to the dentist. She doesn't speak English very well, and she needs you to translate. And behind the mother superior was my grandmother. And I was like this, oh, okay, sister, of course. Yeah, sure, Nani. And she was like laughing like a hyena behind the mother superior.
So anyway, she was like, okay, and she said, well, whatever your homework, they give you homework, whatever. And so I leave the door. I'm like, oh my God, my grandmother's holding my hand. I walk out the door, and she goes like this, laughing. And she goes, we're gonna go to Georgia Marsh. Oh no, that's my mother's voice. I'm sorry. We're gonna go to Georgia Marsh, and we're gonna go buy things. They're gonna get a glue cheese. A glue cheese was a grilled cheese, but it was broken English. But until I was like 27, I thought it was a glue cheese.
I love
These are
that. I love
listen,
that,
these are
Grandma.
true stories. My grandmother was, and how are you going to say no to your grandmother? But I couldn't tell any. I didn't tell my parents till I was in my 50s. I actually never told my dad. I never told my dad. My mother, I told my mom, when I thought, I should tell her before she went to heaven.
And I mean, I didn't put the rest of the story. I want you guys to be able to see it later when you watch your story. I don't want to give away the ending, but your foot in the hole.
Oh my
Don't you
God,
tell us.
Tiana saved the day. My grandmother was like, "Don't." She didn't care. She would have thrown me under the bus. But anyway, grandmothers are funny people, and I loved my grandmother. She was amazing. Chris DiPiero, a truly amazing show. He says, "Thank you, honey." Chris DiPiero is one of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life. He comes to everything we do and he supports everything. Thank you, Chris. We love you. And Chris is started filming more Gavon's Produce episodes, and they're incredible. Like they're of a different level now. Like they're not just funny; they're really intense. So go and check out Gavon's Produce. John Pietro, what a wonderful moment in the show. Everyone wanted to hang out with Grandma like yours. Yeah, she was bad. So beautiful. Thank you. Lynn Portis is my musical director of 33 years, and she's always blown everybody out of the water. Lynn, I can't wait to call you and tell you what every other musical director, people that really know their stuff, was saying about your playing, because Lynn doesn't program anything. She does everything live.
It was great.
Live.
It was great.
Like with
It
that
was great.
synthesizer and all those sounds, she just programmed. Nothing was programmed.
Because I know Lynn, I could watch her and skip the back and see her going, oh, and I'd be like, oh, it's another instrument. She's going to see her do the little thing. And then she goes, she was so good. Big Fish sounded just like the recording. I swear to you. It sounded
good.
so good.
Well, I'll tell you one of the reasons it did is because Greg Schlotthauer and I wrote that together. That's our song. So and also when we recorded it, he did the arrangement. So when we were in the studio, he was every detail. So that's why. And he also recorded My Mother and the Red Sox. He did the arrangement for. So, and Lynn did so many arrangements for me. So, these were two people that I trust, and I knew they knew my stuff and that they would elevate it. So
you had me in tears during Because I Know You. That song.
I Used to Be You. That's the first time I've ever done that live. Lynn and I need to go and record that. We wrote that a long time ago, but it's never been performed live. And
is that the one you did a long time ago? And I don't remember. I can't remember because I have a secret recording of one of our cabarets at the church, St. Episcopal. And I don't remember because no, you didn't do that one. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I
wondered if that was.
No, this is the first time I've done it like in a stage like that. I mean, we've done
beautiful,
together, but we never recorded it. So it's time now. It's time we'll record it.
Was time. Maria, that one had me sitting here eating my taquitos and chicken wings, little Italian snack. But I'm like, oh, Maria, it was. Well, I love you.
Well, you know what it means more now too. I wrote it for Christina and Judy when Christina was 10. Now Christina is 25 and she's having
her baby.
Yep. So it's full
babies
circle.
Having babies.
Babies having babies. Although 25 is not such a baby, but Big Fish is my favorite. I'm so glad, Danielle, that you like that. Barry Silver was there. Barry came all the way in from Philadelphia, an hour and 20-minute train ride.
What a sweetheart.
He's such a sweetheart. Mary Sullivan Baca, you got a fabulous review. Oh, great. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, honey. Let me see if we missed anybody. I don't think so. I think everybody's been acknowledged. Rena, hi, baby. Rena's my cousin from Massachusetts. She was watching the show with Ziana and Alyssa and Ron Berge. I love that song too. So moving. It's a good song. But the reason I don't do it live is because I always cry during it. Very moving. And I can't stay. But I worked really hard on not crying during that song. Okay. So I think it is time for our guest. Now, let me just read something before you zoom him in. I want to read this. So, this is one of our guests, and he's an incredible writer, and he has a book coming out next month that I cannot wait to read. And not just that, you're all going to want to read it. Let me just let you know who he is. His name is Jonathan Liebson, and he has written, and his writing has appeared in The Atlantic, The Washington Post, The American Scholar, Los Angeles Review of Books, Tablet Magazine, and the Texas Observer. He has seen some things. He has seen some life in New York. We just happened to be neighbors many years ago. We lived in the same building, and I always loved him. We always would like see each other in the hall or see each other in the elevator, and I would chat with him for so long. I loved talking to him. He's just a wonderful, interesting, lovely person, and really cool guy. And so now I saw on Facebook that he has a book. I'm like, we're no longer neighbors, but we stayed in touch. And he is joining us tonight. So are we ready, Leo, to zoom in?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my God, there is. Ladies and
Hey.
gentlemen, the author of Hello and Goodbye to All That, a memoir of a changing New York, my friend and a former neighbor, Jonathan Liebson.
Hi.
Hello, Jonathan, I told you this before when we checked in. I love your hair long like that.
Oh, thank you.
It really suits you. It
Oh,
suits your
thank you.
personality. So, honey, let me ask you first before anything else. Are you still an avid cyclist?
I am.
Yeah, because I remember you as a cyclist, and I read an excerpt from your book, and it talks about cycling in New York.
There's a chapter called Confessions of a Cyclist. That's right.
And I was like just sucked into that. I've never
thank
cycled
you.
in New York. It would scare me.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when I was a child, I could not even. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and the idea of riding a bike in New York City, there's just no way.
Right.
But now it's very ordinary. It's very pedestrian to do it. You know, I mean, I'm careful. I'm careful, and I get, I hear about it all the time. But
the excerpt I was reading though was before the bike lanes, right? So it was like, I think,
yeah, there are. So that piece does start before the bike lanes, and it continues through the present day. So it also talks about the bike sharing and what sort of wrenched that through into the whole NYC pedestrian bike,
right.
That whole thing.
Now let me ask you, because I mean I know that you're a really smart guy and you've always been a writer, and you've always seen things a certain way through an artist's eyes. What was it? Was this a lifelong goal to write this book, or was it something that just came together? Did you have pieces that you wrote and put together in the book? How did it come to be? How did the full project come to be?
Well, thank you for asking. This book was many years in the making, but I didn't know it was this book in particular. Sort of the convergence of a couple things at the same time. I mean, I got to New York right before 2000. That's how long ago it was. And so obviously, I mean, there have been a lot of changes to the city, but just to mark time, getting on 2019, 2020, sort of two things converged at once. One, I went back to this piece that I'd written years ago, never published it, but it was about the stories that I heard from my father when I was a child. And again, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, but I heard these wonderful stories from my dad. He was a New Yorker. He was in Manhattan and Forest Hills. So as a child, I hear these stories about him going to the World's Fair. And I'd hear stories about Mayor LaGuardia reading the funnies on the radio during the newspaper delivery truck strike. He'd talk about the Second Avenue elevated and the elevated subways and all that. My grandfather had a pharmacy in Midtown, and these celebrities would come in like Greta Garbo. So I grew up with these stories, and, I was a Chicagoan, but I went back to work on that. And at the same time, we were getting the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Right.
And so I thought about something that captured that flow of time, that sort of arc back to my father's childhood and my sort of experiences in a changing New York in the new millennium.
Now, Jonathan, you and I lived in that building during 9/11. So
We
our
did.
building was about 10 blocks away from the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And I have footage of it from our roof. I didn't know what else to do. I grabbed my little camera. Back then we had these cameras. And I just ran upstairs to the roof and started filming it. I did.
You film with a digital. Oh, wow.
One of those old, I mean, now
Camcorders.
nobody uses, a camcorder.
Right.
And I ran up to the roof. I lived on did I live on the first floor or second floor? And the roof was on the 6th floor. So from our roof, you could see what was happening.
Clear
It
as
was
day.
clear as day, but your
Clear as
body
day.
and your mind didn't register. Do you know what I actually thought? So I ran back downstairs. I ran back downstairs. You'll appreciate this. And by the time I could hear a rumble because I didn't take the elevator, I took the stairs. I was almost afraid to get in the elevator.
No,
And by the time I got back to my apartment, on the screen of the TV I was watching, there were no towers because it had fallen by the time I got down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I ran outside and kept filming. And I said, this is what my brain said. Did somebody move the towers? That's what, when you're in shock or something like that happens.
Right.
That had never happened to me in my life before, where my mind played those tricks on me. But so you must remember that time.
Well,
So,
I have a chapter about that, and I went and got
wow.
it was called film back then. So I got a couple rolls of film from the bodega across the street, and I took pictures. And I actually used them. I published them in a 20th anniversary piece that was published in the American Scholar. So they're on there. And but I had a similar experience in that so people were going up and down to watch CNN, to watch the local news, to see what's going on. And then they go back up and they'd watch it from the roof. And what happened for me is, like, from coming down and going back up during that time, the first tower fell.
Mm-hmm.
So I get back to the roof and it's just this big curtain of smoke.
Right.
So I asked someone what happened, and they said the building collapsed. But like you don't process that. You're like, okay, so parts of the building fell down, maybe the top of it fell. And our neighbor on the roof said, no. The whole building collapsed.
Oh.
And so you can't envision that, So it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. And remember, for weeks and weeks, there was so much dust in the air.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. And the dust was very rough on your skin. And then years later, I was talking to a friend of mine who was a demolition guy. He's retired now, but he said the reason you felt like that is because he did a lot of demolition down there in his crew. And he said, because you got to remember, that's 100 floors of computers. So with computers are computer screens.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all glass. That's literally flying through the air like that. Those little particles, and you could never describe. I mean, you could never understand unless you were there. But so you dedicated a chapter to that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what it was like to live in New York City after, one of the things I regret, and in thinking about this for the interview, I think about things that didn't get into the book, things I really wanted but couldn't get it. But talking about the aftermath, you remind me of the smell.
Yes.
Because we forget. I mean, we think about, not to be grim, but, the dead bodies that were in the pit.
Right.
And there was a smell after several days. And that's one thing I don't remember as vividly. And that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But not to get morose or anything like that.
No, but you're right. But what it is these are details.
Yeah.
These are details of memories things we experienced as New Yorkers on that day. And I'm sure that you have, in your book are so many memories of different days in New York. And like you said, how it's changed. I love that you mentioned the Village Voice,
Yeah.
because I used to read that. Like, I would wait. I'd get out of. I worked at the duplex at the time, on that night on Tuesday, and then it came out Wednesday morning. So I'd get out at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'd pick up the Village Voice. I mean, I didn't know how to live my week without the Village Voice.
Love the Village Voice.
Right?
I love the Village Voice. Yeah. By the way, I just want to cycle back to the previous topic for a quick second, because what we were saying sounded kind of grim, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say that for 9/11 and other things that I talk about in the book, like Hurricane Sandy, like the pandemic, and other kinds of big events here, I do try and strike a positive note. Like there are a lot of uplifting things about 9/11,
Absolutely.
important figures and really touching moments. And so I talk about those as well, because the story of 9/11 isn't just about those buildings coming down. It's about how the city rebuilt and how people came together.
Absolutely.
In ways that we, sadly we miss now.
Yes.
But yeah, so I do definitely strike a balance between that and the more uplifting aspects of being in the city. What I say in the book is it's a place, where some of the nation's worst sort of tragedies have happened, but also a place of national recovery.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah.
And where neighbors help neighbors and strangers help
neighbors.
strangers.
And that was the same thing during the pandemic.
Yeah, I was just going there.
Yeah.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like people just appear and help each other.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Remember during 9/11, the long lines at the hospitals to give blood, like hours of people saying, "I'll do anything you need," or we would all gather clothes and go to the church and drop off clothes. Like anything people needed. People were cooking for. I was cooking for as many people as I could cook for.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song actually I'll send it to you, called "Amputated Skyline," and I wrote it for our firefighters, because our building was attached to a fire station, so it was a tribute to the first responders.
I go there every year.
Yeah, wow.
I go there every year. Yeah, but I didn't mean to bring us back to 9/11.
No, but it's a time that we were there,
Yeah.
So we have that. Now, so let's go and talk about what does it chronicles what time to what time?
So I arrived here shortly before 2000, and really that the time from the era of the Village Voice and Tower Records. Remember Tower Records?
Of course.
And there were Kim's Video, and there was an Evergreen video store near us in
Yes.
Houston. So it's sort of from that time through the era of bike lanes and cell phones and how the city has evolved. There were pay phones back in the day.
Yes, absolutely. I had a service before cell phones. I had a service where people would call and leave messages.
Right. And you can always check on a pay phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was we were in the last days of the subway token. And and here I'm still like my father, back in the day. My dad does not and I do talk about the sort of father-son thing and how coming to New York is a way of trying to get closer to my dad.
Yeah.
Even if he's not here physically, but try to reconnect with his past. But when my dad comes to New York, he does not say, the ACE or the 1, 2, 3 or the 4, 5, 6. He'll say the BMT, the IRT.
Wow.
It's sort of like the metric system. Which subway is that there? Just give me a color, give me a number, give me a letter,
Yeah.
So, but
Wow.
yeah, so it's that through the present, up through the pandemic. And I lived on Houston Street for a number of years, and I was in Brooklyn for 8.5 years. And then for the last few years, I came back to Manhattan. Okay. And it's basically about that last move and how you sort of make yourself anew in a city that keeps changing itself, and you lose some of your favorite places, but some of them endure, and then new places come along, and it's a kind of constant sort of tug of war. You feel like you're losing the city, but you still feel close to it, and you still feel inspired, and you still struggle, and that struggle is part of it as well,
Absolutely. And I just feel like, the way I see us you know, New Yorkers. It's like we're just a collective energy that floats around. It's
Yeah.
like you talked about with these places that I used to go to, like even down the block from where we used to live, Spaghetto's, Trattoria Spaghetto was my favorite Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah.
And when they closed, I was so upset.
Yeah.
But you know, the owner who I loved, he was a wonderful guy. He went back to Italy. He wanted to retire and he had a home in Italy that he had always kept. And you know, good for him. But
Yeah.
and then there was so many like Zito's bread, which I loved Zito's on Bleecker Street.
Did
When
they
that
sell bread there?
They sold bread there and like
Okay.
pizza. It was so good. This
No, I know the place.
hole in the
But,
wall.
you know, that was like the old village where sort of, I mean, it was there when I was there. It was before my time, and that I heard stories that Zito's was a front for something else.
Who knows? I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past anything.
yeah.
Bleecker Street was all Italians back in the day.
I know.
You
It's
know?
amazing.
So I mean,
Well, I'm glad they left on their own sort of choice as opposed to getting squeezed out
yes,
to rent.
yes.
You know, remember Joe's Dairy on McDougal?
Joe's Dairy.
He was on McDougal.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
I used to get all my mozzarella there.
the best mozzarella in the city, right? It was so
yeah,
good.
and truffle butter. They had delicious truffle
Yeah.
butter.
But Raffetto's is still there in Houston.
That's right. I
We're
go to
speaking in our
Raffetto.
own language here.
Yes, I know. And I
Raffetto's is an
still-
old Italian grocery store. It's family owned. It's from like the early 1900s, and
yeah, it's on Houston and Sullivan, I think.
it's between Sullivan and McDougal.
Thompson. Oh, McDougal, right.
Yeah.
And then I think Arturo's is still there, right?
That's still there. That's right.
That's a great Italian restaurant.
Great Italian place. Yeah. Yeah.
Just so many good places. And like you said, now there's new places and we
Right.
adjust and
Right.
we make new memories. I think what it's really about, like for me, because I've been in New York since 91.
Oh wow.
And I have all these sense memories, you know, because it's the groups that I hung with. It's the friends that I hung with. It's the
Mhm.
relationships that I had. And every block has a certain like cellular memory, you know?
That's
and so
nice.
that's what and I'm a songwriter. So for me, I capture these things in songs, you know, where you capture them in a beautiful book and essays and articles. And were you always a writer, John?
I would not say I always was, no. And I certainly wasn't in college. There were a lot of talented writers that I knew in college, and it, you know, sort of put the idea inside of me. But I took a long time to get started, a really long time. I enjoyed reading. I studied literature in college and beyond. And I tried some things here and there. But
Yeah.
really, I kind of decided to go for it. And I came to New York as an aspiring writer. And that's sort of how the book, you know, gets underway. I start by talking to my dad, but then I talk about what it's like to be an aspiring writer in New York, to study under one of my favorite authors. His name's E.L. Doctorow, and he taught at NYU.
Oh, I love, yes.
Isn't he amazing?
Oh my God, I love him.
He's terrific. And, you know, for me, I was talking about how this sort of connects back to my dad. So my dad showed me a book by E.L. Doctorow when I was 16. I loved it. He writes a lot about New York, and he and my dad have similar backgrounds. So he has a novel called The World's Fair. That's the World's Fair that my dad went to when he was 3 years old. And, you know, and so things like that sort of came together. And so, yeah, I started that journey, and I'm very slow as a writer, and I revise a lot. It takes me a long time to get it, if not right, at least to get it into decent shape.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That means you're detailed. That means you care. That means you don't want to, you're not just cranking stuff out and throwing it out there.
I'm definitely not doing that. There's times where I'd like the treadmill to go a little faster, but
yeah, but
yeah,
you literally have your name on it. You know, like people say, oh, when you do something, you have your name on it. Yes, Leo.
Ain't it a fine life to welcome the person of impact? Sorry, that was my
Okay.
Newsies.
I love that. All right. So, Jonathan, hold these thoughts. We are going to zoom you out. We're going to bring our next guest in, Cathy Roy-Spies. But don't go far, because then
I
we'll bring you
won't.
back. Okay. I'm so happy that we got to talk about this.
It was
And we're
wonderful.
going to continue. Let's remind everybody, Jonathan's book is called
Hello and goodbye to all that. And I should say it's out.
Oh, it is out. I thought
It's
it was
out.
being
That's my
released.
website right there.
Okay.
And if you scroll down, it's got blurbs.
And
And it's got a link to, there's a jacket description
And
right
we can
there.
get
And
it
then
on
there are links.
Amazon as well, right?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Post Hill Press. And they
Oh
did
my
a beautiful job with it. I'll just say this before I bug out, but the cover is actually from our old roof deck on Houston Street.
Oh my God, I love that.
They
I
were very
remember
kind
it
in using
well.
a couple photographs. Those are film photographs. People don't know what that is, but the designer used 2 different photographs in a collage there.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to read your book. I cannot wait.
It is out. Just so.
I'm buying it for a bunch of people. I'm buying it.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
No, it's not just because I love you and I admire you. It's because I can't wait to read it and I know it's going to be good.
Oh, thank you.
But don't go far. We're gonna zoom Cathy, zoom you out, zoom Cathy in, and then you're gonna join us again. Oh my God! Did I get 2 for 1 tonight?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Can you
my
hear us?
God! Yes. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cathy Roy-Spies, who is the director of education at the Mayo Performing Arts Center, and she is directing the musical, the spring musical at Impact, and Mr. Charles Santoro, who is musically directing the entire production.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello, everybody.
You guys look great. I love the lights behind you. So
Yeah,
tell
I'm
us.
sorry it's a little dark. on
No, that's
stage.
okay. It's fine. It's fine. Tell us what we need to know about. I know it's this weekend. Tell us what we need to know about Newsies.
Yeah, well, this is our 11th annual main stage musical. So as you know, Maria, because you're so supportive and you come every year.
I love it.
they're
I'll
a
be there.
fully-
I'll be there.
Yeah, fully produced musical. We have a cast of 56, an amazing cast of young performers and a couple of equity guest artists in the production. And, it's, oh my gosh, they're doing an amazing job, right? We just finished tech tonight. We'll have 2 full dress rehearsals Wednesday and Thursday. But yeah, it's just an amazing energy in this cast. The talent is really like full blown. I mean, they're really incredible, these young people.
Now, my first thought, because I love Newsies, I think Newsies is a great show, but I also know there's a lot of boys in Newsies, right?
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, because we've all been doing theater forever and teaching for a long time, and I know that it tends to be more lean towards more girls that go in, that come around, and not so much Mayo though. Mayo draws in a lot of young gentlemen.
Yeah.
And so I am so excited that you're doing this, because it means that you have that many, not just interested and talented, but like ready to go guys.
Oh yeah, we have a ton of boys.
Wait till you
They're
hear
amazing.
them sing. It's just,
Oh,
your jaw's just going to drop. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, every year it drops. I mean, every year I am blown away and moved to tears. I mean, I remember West Side Story was my favorite. They're all so great for different reasons, but I remember West Side Story, like at the end, just crying because you had all these, just an array of voices, and then those little ones at the end.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. More people need to see this. So if I can just tell our listeners and viewers, we're not talking about a little high school production. We're talking, how many seats does Impact hold, Cathy?
1,300.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
1,300
packed them in.
seats.
Yep.
Yep. And all the shows are sold. So let's see. Let's go over the schedule. Tell me what we
Yeah.
got.
So we open Friday night, 7:30. And Saturday we have 2 shows, 2:00 and 7:30. And then Sunday, it's extra special. Last year we added for the first time a sensory friendly performance. So we have a
Oh.
sensory friendly performance at 12:00, and then we close at 5:30.
What does that mean? I know what it means, but if someone says, well, I don't know what that means, what does
What
mean?
a sensory friendly performance is just really, it's tailored to like so it's accessible to everybody to come and enjoy in their own way. So if someone has autism or other special needs, or even if it's somebody that, a child that can't sit still through a performance and needs to get up, or they need to make noise, and the theaters make slight adjustments to make it comfortable for people. So you might keep the house lights at half, and maybe if there are very loud noises in the show, you might lower the volume by 10-15% just to make it comfortable for people. But it's really just meant to make families comfortable. There are so many families who aren't able to go out and enjoy a theatrical experience or any kind of experience like that as a family because, maybe they're worried that their child might be making noise and people are rude and turn around and shush them, or they don't want to disturb other people. So it's just making sure the other audience members know that this is a sensory friendly experience and people are allowed to enjoy in their own way. And so it's really important to us at MPAC to make sure that all of our programs are accessible to everybody. So we're really happy to be able to also do that with these productions as well. We did it last year for the first time with Beauty and the Beast, and it was a big hit. And we had a lot of families come and they're just like, oh, I have a child who they just can't sit through something. So I'm so happy to be able to bring them.
That's wonderful. Now, Charles, you're also teaching at the school, right? You teach there?
I do. I teach I work with Cathy at the Miracle Project and their select group on Saturdays.
I love that. Yeah, I worked with the Miracle Project for one of the seasons. I loved it. It's
my favorite class. It's my favorite. I have to say the kids are just so great to work with and talented, and it's just a pleasure to work with them.
Yeah, it really makes you grateful for it. Like I just remember being very present.
Yeah.
And having them be very present. And it's like you can't describe the feeling as a teacher.
Yeah. And a little thing goes a very long way for them. And it's so great to see them achieve a song or something that they're working on, and seeing them accomplish that at the end. It's really heartfelt. It's really great. And they're all great kids. They're all, and young adults. Some of them are, they're not all kids. Some young adults as well.
So you had your tech today, right?
Yeah, we had our big tech weekend.
Okay.
And then we just finished the end of tech today because, our set basically arrived, the 19th,
on Monday,
a week ago Monday. And then, so we have this short period of time to then load in this huge set, load in any additional lighting that we need, do the focus, we bring a professional sound team and all this different sound equipment in. We're using close to 60 body mics in the show.
Oh,
so
my
we have
God.
eight wearing tap mics on their feet, on their shoes, so it's really, incredible. So putting all of those elements together. I mean, the kids then, tomorrow morning, they've got to get up and go to school. So they're like, then be here at 4:00 for a dress rehearsal and, and another. And I said, I was talking to one of them today. I'm like, oh, how was you? I said, I forget you have school during the day. I said, how was it? He goes, oh, it was good. Cause I knew that after school was over, I could just come to the theater. So I was so excited to get here. And I was like, oh,
isn't that great?
Yeah.
I know, and they never forget this experience. They'll never forget it. And so I just want to remind everybody because I've seen, I think my first one was Joseph. I think that was the first one.
That was our first one. Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen them all then.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking a wonderful high school production. We're not just talking a community theater wonderful production. We're talking about a Broadway scale with costumes, sound, and sets. Broadway scale quality. It's incredible, and you will be blown away. And the ticket prices range from, I think, 35 to 57. Did I see that on the?
Yes,
something like that. Very reasonable, very reasonable, as opposed to a Broadway ticket being somewhere between, 140 and 400. So if you are in New Jersey or even in New York, like it's very easy to take the train out now, and the Jersey Transit strike is over. So, and you get off at the Morristown stop, and you walk about 4 blocks, and you're at the theater. It's super easy to get there. And if you drive, it's very easy coming from the city. It's very direct. So, I can't say enough about MPAC. I had a great experience when I was teaching there. I taught there for 10 years with Cathy. Best power of example person I ever worked for. You don't do anything. You don't expect anything from anyone that you don't do yourself 100 times over. So that's what I learned from you, Cathy.
Oh, thanks, Maria. Well, listen, anytime you want to come back, we'd love to have you.
You
You're
know what?
awesome.
You never know. You never know,
Yeah.
because my memories of MPAC are so dear. It's just my schedule, but I don't know.
I know.
I miss it so much. I really do, and I miss all of you. So,
Missed you too.
what's the best way for people to get tickets?
So the best way is to just visit our website, mayoarts.org.
Okay.
And then you'll see it. Yep, there it is. Education, Spring Musical. Also, if you follow our MPAC Arts Education at MPAC Arts Education Instagram page, you'll see we have a lot of little previews, little pictures, and videos from tech. And tomorrow from our dress rehearsal, we'll post some stuff too. So there's lots of links on there as well. So, and you can, see a lot of the other programs that we do. This is just one of the programs that we have. For our performing arts school, we have 33 classes a week now, including our Miracle Project program for children, young adults with autism and other special needs, as well as
Beautiful.
we ran like 13 in-school residency programs this year, and we do a lot of outreach in the community, a lot of free programs. So
Yeah,
this
it's
is
just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Just a
Yeah, and
beautiful.
it feels like it's funny. We were supposed to do Newsies in 2020, and it was the
Right.
day before we were supposed to start rehearsal, and we
Oh,
got shut
God.
down. So it just never felt like the right time since then to
Yep.
do it. But now it feels like the perfect
It's
time.
definitely the
It's,
right time.
not only do we have the kids sport, but it just really, really feels like the right time to do a show about people speaking out,
Yes,
for their rights
absolutely.
and for their needs. And, so it feels
And the
so
music
right
is beautiful. The music to Newsies,
Oh.
I love it. Right, Leo? Leo works, Leo works with kids after school. He runs an entire after school program.
That's awesome. Leo, I could have used you in this show. Darn
Uh,
it.
I think the idea of Newsies was to teach kids how they could go back to work.
Right. Yeah.
One of these days when Leo, he's in California now, but when he comes to visit,
wow.
Cathy, I'm going to bring him up we're going to have lunch together.
I would
I got to see those shows. Those sets look amazing.
Oh my God.
I just started in this community theater. We do song selections of stuff because it's very small. So I'm kind of at the baby end of where your guys are already at.
Oh, let me zoom out. I'll turn around and see if we could see any of the set. I don't know if it's dark, but sort of see.
Sort
it's
of.
a little dark, but you can see
The
like
big newspaper
the
wall.
big newspaper wall in the back.
Yeah.
Bridge back there. Yeah, you can see. I'll show you our orchestra pit down here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the pit's
Beautiful.
incredible. It's huge.
Yeah.
And Charles, you're conducting as well, right?
I am, yes.
Oh
We
my
have a full
God.
orchestra. It's 11 pieces plus myself. So the full, it's just wonderful. It's such a thrill to hear these songs come to life, and then singing. It's just. We heard it today for the first time in the theater, which is always exciting.
So
Oh my
good.
God.
Open the gates. How's open the gates?
Yeah,
Seize the day.
Seize
Seize
the
the day.
day.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
great.
so great.
I
It's
love
epic.
it. I
Send you
love
some
the
clips.
music.
Yeah, it's epic.
Mhm.
Yes, the music from Newsies is so good. And these productions are like full scale. I mean, I can't say enough, like full scale. Crazy. It's just your mind is blown and your heart is full when you walk out. It's beautiful. Okay.
How big is your cast?
56.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Right? I know.
Dang.
I know.
Yeah.
Fun.
All right. Well, don't stay there for a minute. We're going to bring Jonathan back in it, and we're going to close out the show with. I always like to leave our audience. This is Jonathan Liebson. This is Cathy.
Hi.
Hello.
And Charles
Wonderful
Santos.
sets. Really wonderful looking.
Thank you.
Great. And
We don't have any time to go through your group.
where is Newsies? Yeah, we'll do it real quick. Where is Newsies take place?
In Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God, Jonathan!
1899. Yeah.
What? Jonathan
Yes.
wrote a book about New York. So you have to go back and watch the episode and tell them again what your book is called, Jonathan.
Hello and goodbye to all that.
And it's a memoir of a changing New York.
It's a memoir of a changing New York, basically in the new millennium.
Oh, wow. That's
Oh, wow.
awesome.
I know.
Well, thank
this is-
you. Thank you.
That sounds amazing.
I
Thank you.
know.
I should say, I forgot to mention earlier, but I'll be giving a reading, official launch on June 15th
Housing Works.
at
Yeah,
Housing
go ahead.
Works Bookstore, which is in Soho. It's on Crosby Street. If you remember the old BP gas station, remember
Yeah, I
that
do.
by
Yeah.
Broadway and the famous Puck Building. It's a wonderful bookstore. So that'll be,
I
and
love
if
the
you
Puck
can
Building.
RSVP from my website, there'll be free drinks if you drink on a
Sounds
Sunday
wonderful.
afternoon.
Excellent.
It sounds like a wonderful thing to do on a Sunday. Okay, quickly, we always do a food section of our show, and this is no exception. So I was on the keto for 4 weeks because I was doing a show. So I'm off the keto. I can eat whatever I want tonight.
Bring on the carbs.
Wait, Cathy knows because how many times have I been on the keto, Cathy?
You
Since
love the
I-
keto.
I love the keto. It works. But now tonight I'm off. So I made hold on. I made
Oh, wow.
I know, a pulled chicken sandwich.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my
I
God, that
know.
was delicious, Maria. We're
doesn't that
hungry
look-
after tech.
I
Yeah.
know. Hello. Okay. Well, let me see. Pulled chicken sandwich with caramelized apples and Vidalia onions. And I used a raspberry balsamic to caramelize.
Hey.
I know. Penzi Spices. It's a great company out in the Midwest. That the spice is called Outrage. It's spicy.
Spice is called Outrage.
It's called Outrage, yeah. And it's also barbecue sauce, and I use an ingredient called Sweet Heat, barbecue sauce, and Trader Joe's has a great hot honey of their own. So I love Trader Joe's, so I got theirs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then and this is on a Trader Joe's pretzel bun. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
A
Mhm.
little pretzel bun, nice and soft. And these are Trader Joe's truffle chips right there.
Oh, delish.
So I usually have like a salad, but instead I did a coleslaw to go with that.
Coleslaw.
And the coleslaw has dill, and then there's pickled spices, also from Trader Joe's, celery salt, pink guava vinegar, mayo, salt, and pepper. And for dessert, since it's the first night that I'm having dessert,
Did you say pink
after-
guava vinegar?
yes, it's delicious. I got it from the New England Olive Oil Company, by the way. I've been dying to eat this. It's called the Dubai cake. There's a beautiful
Oh my
Turkish
God.
cake. I know. No, I'm going crazy. Kathy, it was my birthday last week. I didn't even have birthday cake because I was on the keto.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
happy
gosh, yes,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. 63, and I'm proud of it.
You
So
look amazing.
thank you. So the Dubai cake, there's this great Turkish bakery in Jersey. They called Saray, Saray. They are the loveliest people you can imagine. And I try a different dessert every week. So this is chocolate and pistachio, and it went askew, but it's delicious.
Happy birthday,
Looks
baby.
amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. That's my birthday cake to myself. So now I do this at the end of every show because most of the people that watch and listen to us are also creative people. I want us to go around and we'll start with Jonathan. Let's leave our viewers with some words of encouragement on days that you're feeling a little heavier and maybe you can't create, you don't know what to say, what to create. What do you tell yourself or your students or our listeners? What would you tell them? How do we pick ourselves up on days that we are discouraged? How do we continue to make beautiful things out of stressful things? So where does that come from? Jonathan, what do you think?
Wow, that's a really great question. I'm going to answer it indirectly if that's okay.
Sure, of course.
I was thinking back before I got on, you were talking about your grandmother, who you said she was 4'11". Is that what you said?
Yeah.
My grandmother, Bubby, was about maybe 4'10". And we were talking about 9/11. And so I was just remembering one of the words of the first official victim of 9/11, Father Michael Judge. He said, his famous line he said was, "We have to hold each other for as long as we have each other." And so I guess for me, what that means is just, the people in my life are the most important to me. And so when I get down, when I get discouraged about this book, my friends pumped me up. They encouraged me. And, God bless them. God bless them for that. So I think we need to go back to the well as often as we need to go back to the well. And those people that pick us up in our lives, just.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I have chills. Thank
That
you.
is beautiful.
I needed that. Kathy, by the way, I'm going to buy Jonathan's book for you. I'm
Oh,
sending
you're
it
so nice.
as a present. Because I know you just had a birthday in April.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send you Jonathan's book. That'll be my. But
Thank
Jeff,
you. And maybe I'll send one to you.
oh,
That.
well,
We'll both buy the book.
all right. So how about Charles? Would you like? What would you like to
Sure.
add to that?
I always say live in the moment and surround people that are positive and support you. And because you don't know what tomorrow brings. Like for COVID, for instance, we didn't know what that brought. Could happen any moment. So I always say just find something that you love, find people that love you, that you love them, and just surround yourself with them, and always have a positive moment and nothing negative, and just kind of escape from those dark times or that negative energy, and just create. Like for me, it's whether I just sit at the piano and just kind of forget about the world for a little bit and just play, whether it's a classical piece or a musical theater piece, or just kind of improvise something. And that really kind of sets the tone for the day, or for that moment if you're down. And or sometimes I call a friend and let's sing, let's go to a studio in New York and just bring your book and let's just have fun. And that really helps, especially in this time with everything going on and everything. So
Absolutely.
Positive, surround yourself with positive.
Yep, I agree. And Cathy, I mean, I know how wonderful, inspiring you are, but I want everybody else to know. So what do you tell us, Coach? What do you say?
Well, I'll add on to what Charles was saying too, and I think it's yes, focus on actual people around you, and don't worry about what everybody thinks of you. Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to people on social media and thinking about this is where I'm supposed to be. And and also part of focusing on other people is how you can make other people happy. The fact that we get this gift of working with kids in the Miracle Project with autism and other special needs, and their parents are thrilled just when their child is able to sit in the circle for a few minutes, or they're able to speak a word or sing a little part of a song. And it really helps to put things in perspective about what's important in life. And I think, as you do get older, you do start to worry less and less about, what everybody else thinks, and you focus on smaller, important things, the day by day things that you can bring joy to others and that bring you joy as well. I find myself, as I get older, just, really practicing more and more gratitude for just what I have around me. And I think that, helps so much kind of center me and, so.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I agree with everything that you all said. So I want to thank you for taking the time. I know how busy you all are, and I really appreciate it. And feel free to share the show. I'm going to share it. But also, don't forget this weekend, Newsies at the in Morristown at the Mayo Performing Arts Center. It's very easy to get to by train or by car. Please go and check it out. You will be so happy you did. If you want to see Jonathan, get Jonathan's book, go to Amazon, jonathanliebson.com. And you're doing a book reading. Tell us the date again.
It's June 15th. It's Sunday. It's Father's Day.
Oh, perfect.
Which I thought was kind of special, but it could also be tricky for people.
That's okay. I think people can handle it.
But
All right.
Father's Day?
Yeah. How cool is
Father's
that?
Day?
Perfect. Yeah.
It's Father's Day. Yeah.
Maria, you know what we should do before we go out of this month?
What?
We should honor a daddy.
Oh.
Let's see if I can get it in here.
All right. Hold on a second. Oh my God. So you are so funny. So what is this? This is not just a random semi-naked man. This is a calendar. We have a calendar every year that we put together called Nothing But the Apron Calendar, and our friends volunteer, by the way.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Do that. So that's our friend Mel England. He's a wonderful actor from California, and that is Mel, Mr. May. So perfect segue, Leo. We're going to end on that. I love all of you. Thank you so much. You're part of my life now, in the past, and always.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's do great things.
You.
Nice
See
to
you over
you.
the
Thank
weekend.
you. Yes, definitely.